You can keep playing the victim. You can keep blaming, waiting, replaying, shrinking. Or you can take your power back. Stand up. Own your story. Forgive, not for them, but for you. Discipline your mind. Build your vision. And rise like the warrior you were always meant to be. Discipline is what keeps your power in your hands when everything around you tries to take it back. Discipline is doing the hard thing when no one's watching. Discipline is showing up when your feelings say don't. Discipline is saying, I will not let pain lead my life anymore. And the more disciplined you become, the less power the victim story has over you. The sixth step is vision. You can't take your power back without giving your pain a new direction. You need something to fight for, something to build toward, something that reminds you why you chose to stop blaming and start building. Vision gives your pain a purpose, and purpose makes you unstoppable. When you have a vision, every blow that once broke you becomes fuel. Every scar becomes proof of your strength. Every mistake becomes a stepping stone. That's what happens when warriors rise. They turn what was meant to destroy them into the reason they win. Power doesn't return to those who keep crying, "Why me?" It returns to those who say, "Try me." The victim says, "Look what happened to me." The warrior says, "Watch what I do next." That's the shift that changes everything. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need validation to rebuild. You don't need to prove your pain to anyone. All you need is a decision. A decision to stop playing the victim. A decision to stop replaying the past. A decision to say, I take it all back. And yes, it will hurt. Growth always does. But this time, the pain won't own you. You'll own it. You'll shape it. You'll build with it. You'll rise from it. And nothing will be able to stop you after that. Stop letting what happened define who you are. Start defining who you become. Your pain is real, but so is your power. And the moment you stop giving your power away is the moment your real life begins. You either speak chains into your life or you speak power. The third step is to stop waiting for perfect conditions. You can't rebuild your life while standing still. You can't take your power back while waiting for everything to line up. You rebuild in the storm. You rebuild in the dark. You rebuild even when your hands are shaking. Power doesn't return to those who wait. It returns to those who act. You don't heal by talking about the pain forever. You heal by building something stronger than what tried to destroy you. You don't grow by sitting in the ashes. You grow by standing up, dusting yourself off, and walking forward step by step. That's how warriors are made. There's a part of you that still remembers who you were before the pain, before the blame, before the victim story. That part of you is still in there. It's waiting for you to stop shrinking. It's waiting for you to rise. The fourth step to taking your power back is to forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because you do. Forgiveness doesn't free them. It frees you. It cuts the chain between you and the pain they caused. Because as long as you hold on to that anger, they still have power over you. But when you let go, you take it all back. You walk out of that prison with your head high, not because they were right, but because you're done carrying what broke you. This is your story, not theirs, not the pain's, yours. You don't need to erase what happened. You just need to stop letting it dictate the rest of your life. The fifth step is discipline. You can't stay in power without discipline. Taking your power back isn't a one-time moment. It's a daily decision. Every morning you wake up, life gives you two options. Play the victim again or rise again. You choose. The day you accept full responsibility for your life is the day you start walking out of the victim prison. Responsibility is not blame. Responsibility is power. It means you finally stop giving everyone else the keys to your life. It means you say, this is my story. I own it now. When you take responsibility, you stop waiting. You stop hoping someone will make it right. You stop depending on apologies that may never come. You stop needing people to fix what they broke, and you fix what you can control, you. Taking your power back is messy. It's not pretty. It's not easy, because it requires facing the truth you've avoided for years. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and admit, I've been giving my pain too much power. That's hard, but it's also the moment everything shifts, because pain loses its grip the second you stop letting it define you. The victim mindset says, I can't. The warrior mindset says, I will, no matter what. You can't control everything that happened to you, but you can control what you build from it. You can build a stronger body. You can build a sharper mind. You can build a future that makes the pain worth it, but only if you stop letting the past lead. Stop telling the story of how much it hurt. Start telling the story of how you rose from it. Stop waiting for the apology. Start becoming the person who no longer needs it. Stop giving power to what broke you. Start giving power to what you can build now. That's how strength is born. The second step to taking your power back is to shift your language. The way you speak to yourself is shaping your identity every single day. Victims say, I can't. I never get a break. Nothing works out for me. Warriors say, I'll find a way. I'll fight for it. I'll build it piece by piece. The words you speak create the world you live in. It's not easy to let go of the victim story, because the victim story feels safe. It's familiar. You've carried it for years. But you have to ask yourself, do you want to keep carrying pain? Or do you want to build power? You can't have both. Pain isn't your enemy. Staying stuck in pain is. The world is full of people who experienced heartbreak, betrayal, loss, trauma, and disappointment, but they didn't let it define them. They turned it into fire. They used it to become stronger. They used it to build something no one believed they could. They refused to stay the victim. And so can you. You can cry and rise. You can hurt and grow. You can bleed and build. But you can't keep playing the victim and expect to win. Your pain is real. Your story matters. But the moment you stop blaming and start owning, everything changes. You can stay a victim or become a warrior, but you can't be both. And the moment you choose power over pity is the moment your real life begins. You've been living like a victim for too long. Now it's time to take your power back. There comes a moment in every person's life when they have to stop pointing fingers. Stop waiting for someone to save them. Stop replaying the same story over and over again. That moment is when everything changes. Because when you take your power back, the world doesn't magically become easier, but you become stronger. Taking your power back doesn't mean pretending your pain didn't happen. It doesn't mean forgetting what you went through. It means you stop letting it control the rest of your life. It means you look at everything that tried to break you and say, I'm not staying down. The first step to taking your power back is to accept this truth. No one is responsible for your future except you. Not your parents, not your boss, not your ex, not the people who hurt you, not life. You. But easy never made anyone strong. Easy never built warriors. Easy never created winners. There's a comfort in being the victim. You get sympathy. You get to stay the same. You don't have to face your reflection and admit your part in your own story. But that comfort is poison. It numbs you while it robs you. It gives you soft pillows in a prison cell. And you sit there thinking you're safe, when really, you're locked in your own excuses. Here's the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one can fight your battles for you. No one can live your life on your behalf. You can keep waiting for someone to feel sorry for you. Or you can decide that your pain will no longer be your prison. The people who rise from the ashes aren't the ones who got the easiest path. They're the ones who decided, this ends with me. They stopped pointing fingers. They stopped crying over what they couldn't change. They stood up, even with tears in their eyes, and said, I'll fight anyway. That's how power is born. The victim mindset creates chains. Responsibility breaks them. You might not have chosen your past, but you can choose your response now. And that choice will define everything that comes next. When you keep living as a victim, you give your pain permission to lead your life. You hand it the steering wheel. You say, I can't because of this. And your pain drives you in circles, year after year, excuse after excuse. And then you wonder why nothing changes. But the moment you stop letting pain lead, everything shifts. You take the wheel. You take your power back. You say, yes, it happened. Yes, it hurt. But it won't define me anymore. And that's when your story begins to change. Opportunities are missed. But here's the difference between those who rise and those who break. The strong don't stay down when life isn't fair. They stand up anyway. The world doesn't care about the story you keep repeating to yourself. Life isn't waiting for your wounds to heal before it moves forward. Time won't pause because something unfair happened. The clock keeps ticking. The world keeps moving. And while you're stuck saying, it's not my fault, someone else is saying, it's not my fault either, but I'll build anyway. And that's the difference. The victim mindset is dangerous because it doesn't show up loud. It shows up quietly. It sounds like, why does this always happen to me? It's too late for me. I can't help it. They had it easier than me. But what it really means is, I'm not willing to fight. It's easy to stay stuck when you convince yourself that your story excuses your effort. You can't control what happened to you, but you can always control how you respond. And your response decides your future. Some people spend their entire lives blaming their past. Others use their past as fuel to build something stronger. Some people say, I can't because of my pain. Others say, I will because of my pain. Both experienced pain, but one became a victim and the other became a fighter. Blame gives your pain power. Responsibility gives you power. The moment you stop blaming, you take your life back into your own hands. And that's terrifying, but it's also liberating. Because as long as you're blaming someone else, you're telling yourself your future is in their hands. But when you take responsibility, you say, no, my story belongs to me now. Most people don't want to hear this truth. Because blaming is easier than building. Being a victim is easier than taking responsibility. Complaining is easier than changing. You can't win while playing the victim. Most people don't realize it, but they are living inside a prison they built with their own hands. A prison made of excuses. A prison made of blame. A prison made of stories they keep repeating to themselves about why they can't win. They blame their parents. They blame the system. They blame their past. They blame their circumstances. They blame everyone except the one person who has the power to change everything, themselves. And as long as you keep playing the victim, you'll never win. The victim mindset is deadly because it feels safe. When you're a victim, nothing is your fault. You can point your finger at someone else. You can stay stuck and feel justified. You can avoid responsibility and still feel right. But what feels safe is actually what's stealing your strength. Because every time you blame, you hand your power away. Every time you point a finger, you make yourself weaker. Every time you say, it's not my fault, you're saying, I'm not in control of my life. Blame gives you comfort, but it costs you your future. The moment you choose to live in a victim story, your growth stops. Because growth requires ownership. Strength requires responsibility. Power requires you to stand up and say, this is my life, and I decide how it goes from here. But victims don't do that. Victims stay stuck. Victims keep reliving their pain like it's a badge of identity. Victims use their wounds as reasons to remain weak. Here's the cold truth. You can't be a victim and a victor at the same time. You can't blame and build at the same time. You can't win if your entire life story is about who hurt you. At some point, you must stop repeating the pain and start rewriting the story. The victim mindset whispers, life isn't fair. And sometimes it's right. Life isn't fair. Bad things happen to good people. People leave. People betray. Doors close.